What is up YouTube, this is Zane from Team Judgment, and today I'm coming at you with a Madolche Puddingcess deck profile. I never thought I'd hear myself say that, but Konami keep deciding to throw new Madolche Puddingcess support at us, and this card I just couldn't refuse to make the deck because although Madolche Puddingcess is a really bad card, I'll get to that in a minute, this new card, Madolche Puddingcess Chocolate Island Mode, kind of compensates for that because it's a really good card. If you have Madolche Puddingcess as an XYZ material. So I'll be going with the main deck and then the extra deck. So let me just start off by talking about Puddingcess. Puddingcess is a really bad card. It has no synergy with the deck simply because it's a level 5, it requires a tribute summon, and it doesn't XYZ with to go into any rank 3 or rank 4 combo play. But its new card, Puddingcess, makes it slightly more usable in the deck. It's still a really bad card. The only reason I'm running it is because you kind of have to if you want to get this card's full effect off. So that's why I'm running one Puddingcess. At 1 it's okay. I would never ever run this card at multiples, only because it's searchable if you actually really need it, which 9 times out of 10 you won't need it, but it's still a good card to have to go into that monster, not to actually use as a standalone Madolche monster. So one Puddingcess, let's put that to the side up there. Next up I'm running the obligatory 3 copies of Madolche Angeli. Madolche Angeli, not much needs to be said about her, she's a really good card. She's stapled at 3. 3 copies of Madolche Mageline. Again, search card, not much needs to be said, staple at 3 in my opinion. So 3 Angeli and 3 Mageline. And then I'm running 3 copies of Madolche Hootcake. Some people aren't actually running 3 copies of Hootcake. I strongly disagree because you can top deck this card and win, providing you have the right setup, because you can top deck this card, banish a monster engrave, especially summon that Messenger Gelato. And if you have Chateau, search Chateau, and then that's 4100 damage on board. And also, it's just a really good cost standalone card. I know it works better when it's comboed off with like Angeli or Mifui or something, but even as a standalone card, it's really good. That's why I'm running 3 Hootcake, and I just feel the need to run 3 because just all of your combos in this deck go through this guy. This is your main combo piece. Even Angeli goes into Hootcake, so Hootcake is really important, and I don't think I'd ever run less than 3 because it's just staple at 3. Yeah, for the rest of Madolche monsters, let's move that aside. For the rest of Madolche monsters, I'm running 2 copies of Madolche Mifui. Like I said, this is my previous deck profile. This is only good when it's comboed off with any other Madolche monster. Not that good of a standalone card, that's why I'm only running 2 copies. The same reasoning with Messenger Gelato. It's only really good when it's comboed off with Hootcake, because then you get your search effect off. But standalone, if you just have this card in your hand, 8 times out of 10 it's just going to be a dead draw. So Messenger Gelato I'm running at 2, not 3. So that is it for all the Madolche monsters I'm running. On to the rest of the monsters, I'm running 4 hand traps in the form of 2 copies of Max C, and then also 2 copies of Effect Veiler. Effect Veiler is really good this format. You can stop your opponent's searches with Manju, Senju, or whatever. Max C is just good at gaining advantage and keeping up with your opponent's draw power, your opponent's special summoning capabilities through draw power. And then Effect Veiler's, like I said, it's just a really good card. I think Effect Veiler is probably the better hand trap this format, but Maxi is definitely and nevertheless a good card. So 4 of these, and also they act as a graveyard fodder for Hootcake, which is nice. So 4 hand traps. On to the spells, I'm running 3 copies of Upstart Goblin. This just helps with consistency and keeps your deck flowing because you need to get to your Madolche combo pieces. The same thing can be said about 2 copies of Portal Duality, which I'm running. It just helps with consistency. Although this card does conflict with the whole special summoning capability of the archetype, if you have this, the best time to have this is early game when you can go into Mageline. If you activate this card, you need to dig for Mageline or dig for combo pieces. This is a setup card. It's not, you don't activate on the turn you want to go off. Make sure you activate this turn in advance. If you top deck it, it's not to the end of the world because you can just postpone special summoning for 1 turn, because this card actually gains you a lot of advantage when it comes to searching for combo pieces. So that is it for the draw power. The rest of the cards, I'm running 2 copies of Madolche Chateau and 2 copies of Madolche Ticket. Both are good cards in my opinion. 2 is the ideal number. You don't really want to run 3 because they are searchable via Messenger Gelato. So 2 and 2 seems like the right ratio. So yeah. And then also lastly for the well, I'm running a few more spells, but lastly I'm running 2 copies of Instant Fusion. This card works in tandem with your Madolche Puddingcess, because you activate normal summon Puddingcess, activate instant Fusion, go into Cybersaurus, and because that's a level 5 Earth monster Cybersaurus, you can meet this card's summoning conditions. Wait, let me zoom in. Yeah, so that's 2 level 5 Earth monsters, so you can go into this card. So that's the only way you can actually access this card through level 5 monsters, not using its overlay effect, is by going into let's zoom out. By going into Madolche Puddingcess and activating Instant Fusion. So that's why Instant Fusion is in here. It works with the whole Madolche Puddingcess theme of the deck. That's why I'm running 2 copies. 3 would be a bit too cloggy because you're actually running the Pot of Dualities, and that does conflict because it requires special summoning. And again, it does come at a cost. You have to pay 1,000 life points, which is a downside. So yeah. Next up, I'm running for the Ginlock outs, because Ginlock actually wrecked this deck. I mean, it's ridiculous. I was playing against Necros like 2 weeks ago, and they Ginlocked me, and for 5 turns I couldn't do anything, because I wasn't running Regeki at that point, and also Book of Moon, because I was just trying out different things. Yeah, so Ginlock ruins this deck. That's why I need to have outs like Regeki and Book of Moon. And also, another thing that ruins this deck is Vanity's Emptiness and Lose One Turn. Lose One Turn actually absolutely wrecks this deck. That's why I'm running 1 copy of MST. I probably should bump this up to 2 or 3, just because Lose One Turn is ridiculously powerful, and it shuts this deck down completely. So the only thing you can do under Lose One Turn is search for Magdalene. That's pretty much it, because anything else just stops you. So I would probably bump this up to 2, possibly 3 MST, but for now I'm running 1. Yeah, so that's it for the one-offs, for all the spells actually. So onto the traps. I'm running 2 copies of Mirror Force. Yeah, this card just blows up your opponent away. It's really good. 2 copies of Mind Crush for disrupting your opponent's plays. Not much needs to be said about Mind Crush. It's a really good card. Helps just get around stuff. Then I'm running 1 copy of Madolche Puddingcess, and this is a tech choice for the whole Puddingcess archetype. I'm running 1 copy of Madolche Knights. You should be able to read that, its effect, but basically it's an effect, it's spell speed free effect negation, providing you have no monsters in your graveyard. And also, if you control Madolche Puddingcess, which can be this XYZ monster as well, you can use this card to go into, let me read this card. You can shuffle 1 random card from your opponent's hand into their deck, which is nice. So providing you have the right setup, this card can actually be pretty powerful. That's why I'm running it at 1, and also it's searchable as well, so that's the only reason why I'm running it at 1. Next up, I'm running 1 copy of Vanity's Emptiness and 1 copy of Advertisement Divine or Solemn Warning, because they're all really good cards. Yeah, so that is it for the main deck. On to the extra deck. For the extra deck, I'm running the one Puddingcess Chocolate a la Mode. You can look up what this card does. It's a pretty long text. So basically, you use it as like a Gaia Dragon to overlay over 2 double tiramisu that you run, and you can also go into it via Puddingcess. So these 2 go hand in hand. So 1 Puddingcess and double tiramisu. A staple in my opinion in this deck. Even if you're not running Puddingcess in the main deck, you should probably still run this card, because it turns this into a 3k beater, which is nice. Gets over Trish, gets over other things as well. So yeah, Puddingcess Chocolate and Mode. And then for the 4s, I'm running 1 copy of Cowboy, Exiton, Castel, 101 and Dweller. So that is it for all the rank 4s and the 1 rank 5 you run. On to the rank 3s, I'm running 2 copies of Levia the Sea Dragon. And this card, I prefer it over Invoker. I don't actually run Invoker in this deck because I feel that the card is a bit slow. It slows the deck down. But Levia is really good. It just gets you back at Angeline. It's the heart and soul of all of your level 3 combos. So that's why I'm running 2 Levia, not 1 and 1. 1 Levia, 1 Invoker. I just prefer to have 2 Levia. You don't really need Invoker in this deck. It's a good card to have at certain situations, but the drawbacks just outweigh the risks. I mean, I'd rather play other things than extra deck. So yeah, so 2 Levia. Then 1 copy of Wind Up Zen Mains and 1 copy of Metcrypt Engineer. So Zen Mains is good, Engineer is good. They're just good generic stall / offensive-ish level 3, rank 3 monsters. You go into them with Food Cake and Mewfree or whatever. So that is it for all the rank 3s. Then for the instant fusion targets, I'm running 1 copy of Dragon Nest to Wicked Knight. You get for your level 3 play, rank 3 play. 1 copy of Carbanola Warrior for your rank 4 play. And then 1 copy of Cybersaurus. You have to, this can be any level 5, but it has to be Earth, because the summoning conditions on Puddingcess a la Mode is that the 2 monsters are Earth, so yeah, it has to be Earth. So that's why I'm running Cybersaurus. Yeah, so this has been my deck profile, guys. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I've almost hit 1,000 subscribers, which is insane. Thanks for watching. Remember, this is Zane from Team Judgment, signing out. Bye.